what's his name?
I don't know.
Dimitri and the crew for such a great dinner. And so just to remind you, as you can see, the silent auction items are still open. So don't hesitate to, have a look to see how your bid is doing. Make sure it's the highest one. That's getting a joke already. Okay, so we'd like to have a few speakers and some awards we'd like to give out. Yeah. So first up is to bring us greetings from the city of Lethbridge, Belinda Cross.
Yeah, I'm not short. So I wrote this very professionally a couple of days ago, and then about 5 minutes before I came, I completely rewrote it. Because, and I think you'll hear my anger and frustration come through it, because there's so much going on that it's hard to encapsulate. So if anything doesn't make sense, remember it was written in a hurry. But let me start with the professional part. On behalf of my council colleagues, I'm honored to be here tonight to speak with all of you. It should be such a simple thing. Everyone has the right to earn a living, find suitable, affordable housing, enjoy our public services, have adequate health care, have suitable transit and transportation options so they can attend school, get to work, go to recreational activities, shop, eat out, have fun, and live their lives to the best possible way they can.
Yeah!
It should simply be that simple. We need to make sure it happens. And yet, every time that we governments cut budgets, those are the very services, programs, etc., that we always cut. For some reason, our cuts are always, maybe not even directed at, but always applied to the most vulnerable. And they're always the ones first on the chopping block. And it always seems to be it's something we'll get back to. We'll rebuild when we have money or time or something. And yet we never seem to get around to it. You all know this. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. And it's not fair or right. I am sure everyone in this room feels the hardship of the cuts to AISH, PDD, FCSD. I am sure everyone in this room feels the loss of advocacy programs such as SAPA. Right? I mean, it's unbelievable that these programs, which so many have relied on, have been cut or have simply just disappeared in the last few months. More than ever, groups like Inclusion Lethbridge become more important. The role of this organization, supporting and assisting families, providing resources, sharing people's concerns, and speaking with one voice is needed now more than ever. It is ever more important that all of you are here tonight, supporting this organization, supporting each other, because when we cannot rely on the money from the government, it is only through groups like this that we can get through. So all I really want to do tonight is celebrate Inclusion Lethbridge, to celebrate all of you. We cannot and will not stop striving for a better community where somebody can stand here and say, it should be that simple, and it is. We've done it, and I hope at some point we can do it. But until then, we will continue to fight until the seemingly simple thing of treating everyone equally and ensuring everyone has the same resources actually happens. Thank you.
Yeah!
Thank you, Belinda. Our bylaws say that we're a nonpartisan organization, and that's very true. But because families and individuals can't do it on their own, we enjoy and are happy to have the support provided by governments in support of people to have good lives. So next, I would like to invite Soraya Seaborn to come up and bring greetings from the Alberta government on behalf of MLA Nathan Neudorf.
Thank you, Bruce. Well then, before I get into this, I think that something stood out to me when Bruce was offering his opening remarks. He spoke about learning, and I think from the first moment that I met him at a chamber event to the various conversations and communications we've had since then, the opportunity that he's had to share with me about Inclusion Lethbridge and the work that you do, and walking in here tonight and seeing some familiar faces that I didn't expect to see. I can say that my experience thus far has been one of learning, and I am grateful for the opportunity that I have to be here tonight to sit at a table of wonderful individuals who have been able to share with me their lived experiences and their stories. And I have had a very enjoyable time talking to them and learning about some of the things that they've gone through. With that being said, I'll jump into this. So good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for having me here tonight on behalf of MLA Nathan Neudorf. It is an honor to join you in celebrating the work of Inclusion Lethbridge and the incredible legacy of advocacy, support, and community that you continue to build. I know Minister Neudorf has appreciated the opportunities to meet with many of you, whether during fireside chats or one-on-one conversations, and he values those relationships deeply. Your voices and experiences matter, and they continue to shape the important conversations around inclusion, accessibility, and meaningful supports. Since 1957, which I find incredible, I did not know that this organization has been around since then. This organization has been a strong and compassionate voice for individuals with developmental disabilities and their families, helping to bring about positive change. From those early days of pushing for access to education to today's work fostering inclusion in all areas of life, you've led with heart, persistence, and a vision of dignity for every person. We recognize there are challenges that still need to be addressed, and your willingness to engage, speak up, and work collaboratively helps build a better future for everyone, and that's something that MLA Neudorf respects and supports. Thank you again for allowing me to share in this evening with you. I hope it's a time of connection, celebration, and renewed energy for the important work that you do. Here's to the continued work ahead and to the community that makes it possible. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Soraya. Yeah, I had an opportunity to visit or to be in attendance at Nathan Neudorf's fireside chat. I asked a question which he admitted he didn't answer particularly well, and invited me to get in touch with Soraya so we could have a meeting. And then we had a meeting, and it was very pleasant, very, very nice. We presented some of our concerns, and Mr. Neudorf listened attentively and asked some good questions. And I really feel the nonpartisan aspect of our work is important, because the overall aim is to make improvements. And so that requires us working with a whole range of people with different philosophies and different political views about how that should happen. So I appreciated that opportunity, and thanks very much for coming, Soraya. Okay, at that meeting with Nathan Neudorf, my good friend Ben Rowley joined me, and here he is now, Mr. Ben Rowley.
Good evening. I was asked to share my life story about education and inclusion. Let's start at the beginning. I was born September 14th, 1978 at 134 at the Lethbridge Municipal Hospital. And then we'll just speed it up. And then 6 years later, I started kindergarten. So, and I was always included. And I think there are some people that say you have to be in the classroom all the time. I don't think I would have ever survived, or my EA would have survived, because I like to talk and chat, even though I was never done my work. So again, I'm lucky that I went to school in a period of time where EAs were there for everyone, unlike today, where if you aren't a danger to the people around you, you don't get an EA. But I really do think inclusion is important, and that's why I'm glad to congratulate Nicholas Sharon on their win. And
You can do it, Dad. You got it, man.
okay, I'm grateful that there are schools that do it, but it's hard to be included when you don't have the supports, and that's why I believe that advocacy is important. And after I graduated from high school, I moved into Lethbridge, and I was able to, in 2007, probably the most important part of the story is I ran into Dave. Okay, let's just be honest. Also, Dave thought I was Chris, and he thought Chris was Ben, but that's a Lawson thing, because even his sister had saw my name. I sent her a thing on Facebook, and she still said, thanks, Chris. So it's a Lawson thing, so we all have special problems. Or he's like, oh, you're married. And my brother's like, no, I'm not, that's my brother. So yes. But anyways, I do think inclusion is important. And I did tell Bruce I would tell this joke. You know how when you go to the blood donor, they asked if you ever tested positive for AIDS. I always wanted to say yes, and I was cured when I graduated from high school. That's for you, Bruce. So, yes, I think back to all the times, and it's important that we have inclusion, because it's not, our fight isn't over. I mean, group homes are still a thing. I mean, I'm now a co-chair of a national task force and deinstitutionalization that is, and it's never going to end, but we have to fight. Yes, Michener, these bigger group homes are closing, or bigger institutions are closing, but we have these little ones like the Christopher's Place on the north side. Yes, they're not technically institutions, but are they the best choice? So I think we need to fight. And other things that we need to be aware, make sure, is the fact that that $200 shouldn't be de-ed. I really believe that we are the gold standard of poverty. I mean, if we're the best in Canada, then means people with disabilities need to be treated better. So I really appreciate what the current government has done, but they really need to look at it and hopefully change their policies. And to be fair to the Fed, let's not just pick on the provincial government. Is $200 really enough to bring us out of poverty? No. So we need to work with every level of government to make life better for everyone.
Thank you very much, Ben. Ben is a board member, and I have to say that Ben, I treasure Ben around the board table, in particular for the questions that he is never afraid to ask and always make us think more deeply about the decisions we're making. Thanks, Ben. Because we are a family organization, every year we recognize a family who has been a leader in terms of family connections, family working together for this organization and for each other. And this year, the winner or the award recipient of the Newton Family Leadership Award is the Millard and Nodge family. Just to expand on the Newton family, they were, I don't know if they were a founding member of the organization, founding family, shortly thereafter. Yeah, and their son, Leonard, was kind of an inspiration to me shortly after Maggie was born, because I went to a public event at the library, and Leonard was there, and the panel, various people spoke, and he spoke as well, and he gave this really quite impassioned and wise, distinguished statement about global political affairs. And I was very powerfully struck by that. Here was a very distinguished gentleman who was engaged in the world, regardless of the fact that he happened to have Down syndrome, right? It was a powerful motivator for me. So I would like to invite the Millard and Nodge family up to receive the Newton Family Leadership Award from Inclusion Lethbridge.
I'm Judy Millard. I'm the mother of Lars Nodge, and Sarah Nodge, and my other son Matthew Nodge, who's not here tonight. And I thank you very much for this honor of recognizing our family, and for the honor of being part of inclusion. It's been a very big part of my life since I moved to Lethbridge about 20 years ago now. I got involved with the parent-to-parent group, and it was a group of women who had been together for a long, long time, and they shared lots of history and support for one another with their children, and I felt very part of that group from the first time that I went to them. And inclusion also is a big part of our family, because my son, Lars Nodge, has roommate companion with Dave Lawson and Chris Lawson, and which is wonderful. They've included him so much in their family, and the circle grows, and that's what it's all about, is having a circle of friends, a circle of support, where we all get together and help one another, because that's what it's about. Thank you.
No more politics.
So Lars was going to say no more politics, but for those of you who don't know, I'm also a town councillor for the town of Pincher Creek. And Lars and I and Matt grew up in Pincher Creek, and as much as this is an award from Inclusion Lethbridge, which centers Lethbridge in its name, but the service area is Southwest Alberta, and there's the small towns like the ones that Chris and Ben grew up in, and Pincher Creek, that are also part of the Inclusion Lethbridge family. And I think that's a nice moment to recognize that inclusion is also inclusive of our rural communities that come to Lethbridge for service, especially for disability and supports, because sometimes they're not available in our small communities. And so it's so important to have organizations like this, that when we do have to come to the city, there is a sense of community, and there is a sense of that belonging that we often have in our home communities. And so it's really been wonderful that this organization has been that for our family and others like us. And it's also nice to see that in my own community, when I'm shopping, I don't just hear about street sweeping and snow removal, that it's also people asking how Lars is doing. And to see that he's been such a big part of my community and our community there, and that people have credited him and Mom for demonstrating what inclusion looks like and for demonstrating how success can look differently for different people. And so I'm really grateful to have this recognition tonight for our family and for Mom especially, who was for sure a leader in a lot of difficult conversations, and for Lars for being wonderful, and for Dave and Chris for welcoming our family with your family, and everybody, thank you. Start coughing.
I think we're good.
You're good.
All right. Thank you. Yeah, this award epitomizes, I think, the sort of fundamental truth of our organization, that it's the experience of families and individuals that is the source of our knowledge, our authority in some ways to speak and to do this work. Education is a huge part of building an inclusive world. Maggie still has friends from high school that she's in touch with, friends from elementary school, still Ashlyn. She has friends from university days, and so her life is far richer because of these friendships, which, like most of us, friendships we develop in high school that continue throughout our whole lives. So the work of schools and educators is crucial to building an inclusive life for individuals with developmental disabilities. So this year, every year we nominate, a school is nominated for an Inclusive Education Award. It's named after Betty Grigg, who was a significant, the Grigg family was significant in the history of this organization. Betty was a president. She, I think, might have been in Inclusion Alberta as well. I know she spent a lot of time going up and down. They had a daughter, Janie, who was my age. And so when our families got together through church, Janie was kind of the first person I'd ever seen up close with Down syndrome and interacted with. And because of Janie, her sister, her brother, and maybe another sister have all become educators of one kind or another. So Janie's influence and the Grigg family's influence has been enormous. So that's why they're named after this award. So right now, I'd like to invite Nicholas Sharon Elementary School up to receive this award. Oh, yes. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. Yes. And Kiara, who was a student at the school, is going to announce them.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are recognizing Nicholas Sharon School because of how they have helped us and ours at our school. My little brother Matthias is in grade 3. He has autism, ADHD, and anxiety. I am Kira. I'm in 5th grade with severe ADHD, oppositional defiance, and dyslexia. My principal, Mr. Aaron Fitchett, it's right over there. And my vice principal, Mr. Stephen Woodcock, is also right over there, have been great allies in supporting me and my fellow students. We have our ups and downs, but can always rely on Fitchett and Woodcock to help us through. We have witnessed their inclusive viewpoint firsthand. For example, at assemblies, no matter if they are in a wheelchair, can't stay still, easily overstimulated, or just bored, all children are included. And included in extracurricular activities, awards, choir, field trips, and participation. Both Mr. Fitchett and Mr. Woodcock always greeted all the kids by name every morning and made sure they got home safe after school. Again, they knew all the kids' names. I don't even know 10. They are always nice when greeting people, including angry parents. My teacher this year is Mrs. Gotgill. Shout out, she's also right over there. She is extremely thoughtful and flexible. She has been able to redirect my negotiating tactics regarding schoolwork and help me get significantly better at reading. I was not able to get an EA, not ET, to help me with schoolwork, and Miss Gotgill has helped me succeed in class regardless. Mrs. Niven is Matthias's teacher this year. She has learned a lot about Matthias and how to help him succeed. She has found ways to help Matthias be more flexible without taking away structure. He can now attend assemblies without headphones and participate with other students. Mr. Sheedy is the music teacher. He finds ways to include everyone in the class and also knows everyone's names. We literally follow him around at recess. It's amazing. Miss Miklos, shout out, she's also over there, works in the office and is always smiling. Me and Matthias have visited the office a lot, and she has always been really nice to us. Speaking of shout outs, can we just notice how many people from the school are here? Yeah. We gave them almost no notice about this, and here they are. That shows their dedication to their students and inclusivity in school. My family would like to nominate Nicholas Sharon Elementary School for the Betty Gregg Inclusive Education Award for their really spectacular treatment of inclusivity for kids like me. So Allison, as a trustee of the board for District 51, and Rochelle as a director of inclusive education for District 51. If you are listening, they deserve a raise or more support. Thank you.
Bruce, we're going to make you hang on to that for a little while. Is that okay? Kiara, we're very, very, very proud of you. Thank you for that. My name is Aaron Fitchett. I'm the very, very humble and grateful principal of Nicholas Sharon Elementary School, and this is only the end of my second year, so it's pretty special to see the culmination of decades and decades of work and efforts towards inclusion that have been taking place at Nicholas Sharon for over 40 years. You might not know Nicholas Sharon Elementary School is the first elementary school built in West Lethbridge, and it's got a significant place in the history of West Lethbridge and the development of that community. And so truly, Nicholas Sharon is a community school, and we don't feel like we can take any credit, so we're going to share that tonight. Kiara, you introduced these people beautifully. We have Allison Purcell, school board trustee, joining us tonight. We have Rochelle Neville, who is our Director of Inclusive Education, joining us. We have grade 5 teacher Anna Gotgilf, and Kiara's teacher. And of course, the woman who makes the whole school run, Mrs. Janine Miklos, our admin assistant. So thank you for joining us. As I said, my name is Erin Fitchett, and this is Mr. Stephen Woodcock, our Vice Principal, who's been at the helm for the last 4 years, and I appreciate everything that you do, Mr. W. Thank you for everything. Good evenings, and thank you so much for this nomination. It's an incredible honor to join you tonight on behalf of our entire school community as the recipients of this Betty Grigg Inclusive Education Award. Since the nomination was announced and then subsequently the award win, both Steve and I have heard from different networks in our community a little bit about Betty Grigg, and she seems like she was an incredible human being, and we're really grateful to receive an award in her name. Receiving this award is both humbling and affirming. It reminds us that inclusion is not only possible, but it is powerful. Inclusive education practices change the ways that we can learn, grow, and understand the world around us. At Nicholas Sharon, we believe it is the right of every child to feel welcome, valued, and seen. We know that inclusion is not just about physical presence, but it's also about belonging and creating a school culture where every child feels safe, respected, and able to participate fully in school life. Inclusion is about recognizing that diversity enriches our classrooms, our playgrounds, and our relationships. It's about celebrating what makes each of us unique and recognizing that everyone has strengths to share.
As Erin mentioned, this award is especially meaningful to us because of the legacy behind it. As we understand it, Betty Grigg was a pioneer in inclusive education, a powerful advocate, and a compassionate leader. She had a vision of a community where every person, regardless of ability, was included, where children learned and played together in the same school, on the same teams, and in the same neighborhoods. Her work reminds us that inclusion is not a trend or an initiative, but rather a movement that began decades ago and one we are proud to carry forward today. Nicholas Sharon, we are an early education to grade 5 school with a rich diversity of learners. Our inclusive approach is reflected in every aspect of our school, from the values we teach to the supports we offer, to the relationships we build. We have a talented team of learning support teachers and educational assistants who work hand in hand with classroom teachers to meet a broad range of student needs, whether it's through an individual programming, small group supports, or facilitating collaborative planning. They help ensure that every child can thrive. Our school also offers a complex needs program that ensures students are not separated, but welcomed meaningfully into classrooms and the broader school community.
Our Learning Commons, which it used to be called a library, but now is so much more, encourages students to explore, collaborate, and share their strengths in ways that connect them to one another. We also offer student support services, a cultural showcase, and projects like our Indigenous Medicine Garden, all of which contribute to a culture where inclusion isn't just a goal, but we hope a daily practice. Our Nicholas Sharon School values of collaboration, responsibility, compassion, and resilience are deeply connected to inclusion. They shape how we treat one another, how we face challenges, and how we work together. Our vision and mission statements also reflect our belief in being respectful, lifelong learners ready to embrace challenges with innovative and creative thinking.
We also recognize that inclusion at the elementary level lays the foundations for a lifetime of empathy, understanding, and connection. When students learn in inclusive environments, they begin to see the world through a strength-based lens. They begin to understand that every person contributes and that every person matters. We've seen firsthand how students flourish in inclusive spaces, not only academically, but socially and emotionally, and how that flourishing extends beyond the school walls into their families, neighborhoods, and communities. We know that many families worry about their children's sense of belonging and success in school. And we've heard from many that the inclusive practices at Nicholas Sharon have helped not only their child feel connected, but their entire family as well. Our hope is that these experiences and values will continue to grow with our students and families as they move into future schools and learning environments, helping them to be advocates for equity, inclusion, and respect wherever they go.
While we have the honor of accepting this award tonight, this recognition really does belong to the entire school community. To our teachers, we believe you're the heart of the classroom. Every day you bring patience, creativity, and unwavering dedication to the students that you teach. You see the strengths in every child when they don't see those strengths in themselves. You go above and beyond curriculum. You build connections, nurture confidence, and create safe spaces where learning can flourish. Your belief in every child's potential is the foundation of our inclusive community. We'd also like to acknowledge our incredible support staff. Your impact often happens in the quiet moments of the day, the smallest gestures that mean everything to a student. You build trust, offer calm reassurance, and model the compassion that makes our school a place of belonging. Whether it's helping with academic tasks, emotional regulation, or simply being a consistent, caring adult, our support staff are essential to the success of our students and to the culture that we build together.
To our students, and we're so thankful to have one with us this evening, you inspire us every single day. Your kindness, your acceptance of one another, and your willingness to include and celebrate each other make our school more than just a place of learning. It makes our school a community. You remind us that inclusion isn't something we teach only through lessons, it's something that we live through every interaction, every friendship, and every moment of support. You are showing us the kind of world we all want to live in. To our families, thank you for your trust, your partnership, and your advocacy. We know that for many families, the school journey can come with concerns and uncertainty. Your willingness to walk with us, to share your insights and hopes, and to engage in the shared work of inclusion means the world to us. Your voices help guide our decisions, and your support strengthens everything we do. And to the broader Lethbridge School Division and community partners, thank you for your ongoing collaboration and shared belief in the value of inclusive education. It takes a village, and we are fortunate to be part of a division and a city that recognizes that inclusion builds stronger schools, stronger relationships, and a stronger future.
So just to wrap things up, we know that the journey of inclusion is never finished, and it should never be finished. It requires constant reflection, listening, and learning. At Nicholas Sharon, we are committed to continuing this work by building strong relationships, seeking out new partnerships, and keeping student voice at the center of our decision making. We will continue to grow, to learn, and to share that learning with others. I want to just take a moment to thank the Haynes family for this wonderful recognition, and to Kiara for your beautiful words. I'll speak for Steve and I when I say this is like, Kiara, you don't know, but this is a career-defining moment for people who work really, really hard to make sure that inclusion is happening. And the nomination from the Haynes family was certainly unexpected, but certainly so welcome. So thank you so much. We appreciate this very deeply.
Here, there we go. There we go.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Yeah, congratulations. Yeah.
Thank you very much. Thanks, Kiara and Nicole and the Haynes family, and to Nicholas Sharon Elementary School. So our last bit of business to do this evening before we have the music turn up a little bit. So if you'd like to dance a little bit, you'd be welcome to dance. You can continue to visit, continue to scout the auction items, be sure that your name is at the high end, is to recognize the contribution of Dave Lawson, our longtime executive director. It's bittersweet, Dave, right? It's sad, but it's great. I mean, it's sad to see you go, but it's great that you're gone.
It's great that he's gone.
Because, you know, you're able to do things now, like rebuild the fence around the house. And, you know, spend your time kind of the way you want to without... Yeah, well, there may be some of that. He's doing things with lots of... he's got so many friends. He's doing lots of things with lots of people he loves and who love him. And he's continuing to be the very social person that he is. And so we're happy for that. But we're sad to see you go. And it's been, I gotta say, it's been hard. It's been a challenge to turn a corner from the Dave Lawson experience and the Dave Lawson legacy and the Dave Lawson knowledge that has been such an integral part to our organization for so many years. So to recognize your work and contribution on behalf of all of the families of Inclusion Lethbridge over all of these years, we would like to honor you with a Lifetime Membership Award.
Well, this is an honor for sure, unexpected, and Chris was mentioning that everybody was keeping it pretty brief, and so she encouraged me to do the same thing. I mean, it was 18 years at Inclusion Lethbridge. Before that, it was 25 years at Southern Alberta Community Living Association, and I have to tell you, it was just. There's been a variety of really important social movements, innovative social movements. One, obviously, that created the Lethbridge Association for Community Living was the family movement. And then the next important movement was the community living movement, where people were moved out of institutions into the community, repatriated to their home communities. And that what really resonated with me. I actually came to Lethbridge to take law enforcement at the college, and but because they were so desperate to have people to help out as people were moving out of institutions into group homes, that I had done a lot of volunteer work, and I started working part-time. And the community living movement, I started meeting these people when I took the job at SACLA that were coming out of institutions and showing this amazing resiliency in the human spirit. And there was something about that, to see people that I do not have to go into the details about the horrors of living in an institution, seen some firsthand myself. It's to warehouse people like that, to make people prisoners for doing nothing wrong. The community living movement was so powerful, and that's what drew me to work at Southern Alberta Community Living Association. The next important movement was obviously the inclusive education movement. Many families that were part of that, their family members had missed that opportunity because they had been institutionalized, and they were the motivating factor behind inclusive post-secondary education, that their adult family members could go to school to continue their education in post-secondary. So that was a really important movement as well. And the other one that has just been close to my heart is a self-advocacy movement, that people with disabilities finding their voices, sharing their collective voices, and really needs to be supported. As Belinda talked about, the loss of funding for some of these important organizations that support the organization, support collective self-advocacy. The loss of that funding, I'm glad to see that Inclusion Lethbridge has umbrellaed that organization, South Region Self-Advocacy Network, and to keep that going is so important. One thing that I'm observing is that we're trying to convince community that congregate and custodial care is good enough for adults with intellectual disabilities. And we know that that's not true, and families certainly know that that's not true. And every time a family wants to find more for their son or daughter than that sort of support arrangement, being in a day program, being in a group home, those sort of things, it seems to fall really heavily on the family to make that happen, and that's where we find the importance of community, the importance of building community where everybody is actually invested in people with potentially marginalized people being able to make that contribution to community. And I have been invited to share that journey by so many families that just, I have so many experiences and joy from being invited by families to be part of that important journey. And I would, one I can share right now is being involved with the Makishi family. Rod and Crystal were two people with developmental disabilities that I met probably in the late 80s. Rod and Crystal had got married, which was hard to do for two people with intellectual disabilities in the 80s especially. But they were sure that they wanted to sanctify their love formally and get married, and that was a tough journey for them, but they had the support of others, support of many, both within their family and from without their family. And it was just last week that we celebrated Crystal's birthday, and I won't say which one. Crystal is older than I am, so she's well into her 50s. But her husband, Rod, and I became good friends. He was a great mechanic, a great friend, a great buddy to have a few beers with. And sadly, we lost Rod, and Crystal has stayed close to our families. And at her birthday party, she has three very close friends, and two of them that she actually went to elementary school with and was included in elementary and has continued those relationships. Two of them were there at the party, and it was so good to see. I know what a sport that's meant to Crystal over her lifetime, and she was a student in Barron's, and I think that she was included just out of necessity. They certainly didn't have the resources to create anything special for her, and it wasn't required either. So Crystal is here tonight. I don't know, lots of folks will know Crystal, but she's sitting at the table with us.
Crystal, yeah.
And it just, so many families that I was thrilled to be part of their journey, sometimes invited pretty late into the struggle. The family was in crisis. Sometimes, mom dad wasn't allowed on the school grounds, and mom could only communicate by email, and I'd be invited in. And a lot of times I felt like, often there's that kid with autism in the schoolyard that seems to, every time there's trouble, that kid's there, so he must be the source of the trouble. I kind of felt like that guy all the time, getting blamed for things that weren't working out well. But I tell you, the amazing success and the amazing turnaround that's happened. No, situations don't turn around unless people feel it's worth investing in taking that big step where a student, they might do different accommodations to make sure that student's included. And I have just been part of some amazing success stories that sometimes I just felt like I was a spectator to it. Other times it seemed like it was my life's work, but what it reminds me is that it's all about, when we talk about social innovation, it's all about community building. Community building is really complex and there's a lot of steps to community building. And I think that all we really need to do, don't let it be overwhelming, but just remember that each one of us can be one or two of those steps. So we should all think about what we do to make the community a better place for everybody, an inclusive community, a welcoming community. And I just can't say enough about how honored I am by this award and this recognition, but the families invited me to be part of their success, of their struggles, of their journey, and it's been a thrill for me. I don't miss organizing these events. And as folks have said, there's a bit of a challenge to when you run a grassroots organization to make sure that all the knowledge and information is shared appropriately. And one I forgot to make clear was don't plan the dinner dance on the May long weekend. Anyway, thank you very much, everybody, for coming out tonight, supporting Inclusion Lethbridge, and thanks you, Inclusion Lethbridge, for this amazing award with my middle name on it. Way to go.
Thank you, Dave. Okay, so that finishes the formal part of the program. Thank you, everybody. Jeff, if you want to crank up the tunes a bit, that'd be great. And again, we can visit and circulate and enjoy another drink from the bar if you wish. And Rini has a few words of business.
Business. Well, first of all, I just wanted to mention that I was at a local business recently talking about our event and, soliciting donations, and someone overheard me say that I was with Inclusion Lethbridge. And the woman says, "Are you the new Dave Lawson?"
No.
And I said, "Yes." And she goes, "Well, you're a lot better looking." Anyway, so mopping up, finishing off our evening, I wanted to let you know that, at about 8:30 we will close off the silent auction, and then we'll get on with deciding who's got the winning bid. And then shortly after that, we will have the 50-50 winner announcement. And also need to let you know again that the process will be this. When we call your name, we want you to identify yourself, and you'll get a paper, and you'll take your paper, you'll go and pay, either with cash or check, e-transfer, or Zephy. Once you've paid, then you'll go over to the tables, and someone will hand you your item, okay? So it will all unfold. All right, enjoy yourselves. We will, 8:30 we will be shutting down the auction. Thank you very much.